More than ever, we need to focus on stories of strength, courage, and unity. Welcome to COVID Talks, a series dedicated to promoting positive conversations during uncertain times.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 33rd episode of COVID Talks, Positive Conversations During Uncertain Times. My name is Anthony Rapp of PR Cision LLC, and I'll be your host for the evening. Tonight, we have a great show. We have Rob DeLuca, owner of DeLucas Italian Restaurant, located in Tottenville, one of the most revered, respected, and loved restaurants in the Tottenville community. I could say that. I'm a Tottenville resident, so he and his family have done amazing things for the community during the good times, and even right now, they're still continuing to do great stuff for the community during these tragic times. So we have him. He's going to be with us. He's going to be talking about the ways that his restaurant has personally adapted to the changing times, and he's also going to talk about something that I think is very important: the Staten Island Restaurant Association and how it has come back from what really wasn't a major organization. It's come back now and it's growing. Restaurants are banding together now, especially because of what's going on, the camaraderie among the restaurateurs. And we're going to talk about some of the rumors that we've been hearing, at least on Staten Island, about are restaurants going to just try and reopen? What's their plan? And what is their plan for the future? So we're happy to have him with us. We look forward to seeing him in a few minutes. But before we begin, first and foremost, thank you to those of you who are watching us live. We appreciate it. If you could do us a favor, on the bottom of the screen, click that little share button. This way we can continue to share and spread messages of positivity. If you're listening in live on our podcast, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for downloading. And now we're going to get into our COVID Talks positive news headlines of the day. So first up, a local organization called Valenti's Rocks. Valenti's Rocks. It's a basketball camp. They hosted a virtual three-point contest where they had over 48 fifth, sixth, and seventh graders participate in a virtual three-point contest, which took place via Zoom. Very well attended, very well received. And the end of the game, the organization was raising money for a Northeast Regional Food Bank. So shout out to the organizers, Valenti's Rocks, and to all the kids who participated to raise money for a great cause. And Projectivity, Staten Island-based nonprofit, in the news again today. They've created a really nice memorial for frontline workers located at Richmond University Medical Center. As you can see here, it says, "Thank you, first responders. Spread love. It's contagious." So just another outpouring of love for our first responders, and another great piece of artwork put together by Staten Island organization Projectivity. And last positive news headline, yes, this weekend is Memorial Day. If you can believe what I'm saying to you, yes, I promise you Memorial Day is this weekend. It seems like we've been locked up forever, but the holiday is here. And the traditional 5K Staten Island Run Walk, which has been a staple in the community for many, many years, has transitioned to a virtual format. So there's still time to participate. We're going to put the link in the comments section. If anyone's interested in participating in the virtual 5K, they're raising money for organizations like Meals on Wheels here on Staten Island. Everything goes to charity. So if you can, and if you're willing and you're able, we encourage you to sign up to do something positive this weekend. How could you find out about us? How could you stay up to date on what we're doing here on COVID Talks? Follow us on Facebook at COVID Talk. Check out our website, covid-talks.com. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel at COVID Talks. And don't forget to download our podcast on iTunes and Spotify. And tomorrow night, we invite you to join us live. Tomorrow night at 7, we will have Michelle Krupe, the president of the Verrazano Kiwanis Club here on Staten Island. She's going to be talking to us about some great work that the club has been doing here on the island. Multiple food donation, food drive-by pantries, a lot of other great stuff that the Kiwanis Club is doing here in the community. So we look forward to speaking with her to learn about what they've been doing. All right, so we're back. So once again, last week we were fortunate enough to have Pam Silvestri on with us, the Staten Island Advance food editor. We've had multiple restaurant owners who have been guests here, including Carmine Galtieri. And what we've seen and heard is that at the end of the day, all the people involved in restaurants have said positive things will come out of this. However, we're at a point right now where the governor just extended the pause, and restaurants are still left in the lurch. So, with that in mind, we're going to ask restaurateur and former law school student, which I found out in the green room earlier, talking with Rob, and of course the owner of DeLucas restaurant, a staple across Staten Island, but especially a staple in the Tottenville neighborhood. We have with us Rob DeLuca, and we're happy to bring him up. You there, brother?
Yes. Hey, Anthony. How are you?
Perfect. So first and foremost, thank you for being with us tonight. I appreciate it. I know we have a lot of people who are interested in what you're going to say, so thank you for taking the time.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm happy to do the show. It's good to see you, through the camera. I wish I could see you in person, but
I wish I was having martinis at the bar with my wife,
I feel
hanging
like
out with your mom.
martini for you and pouring it, and we shouldn't have.
I wish. Me, you, Salad Dragna, your mom, it'd be great.
Yes. Oh, we'd have a blast.
So before we get into the real nuts and bolts of the conversation, I'm sure, even though I don't believe it, there's got to be people who aren't familiar with you and your background. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you got involved in the food industry, and we'll take it from there.
Sure, of course. So my name is Rob DeLuca. I own DeLucas Italian Restaurant on Amboy Road in Tottenville, right here in Staten Island. I've been working in restaurants since I'm 16. So I got 14, going on 15 years of restaurant experience. Started from the bottom, made my way to the top. Busboy, food runner, bartender, waiter, maitre d', floor manager, general manager, you name it, I've done it. Cook, chef, gone to culinary school, went to bachelor's of finance, master's of management, almost an attorney. I mean, I've dabbled in a lot of different things, but restaurants, food, people are my passion, and the restaurant business is something that I fell in love with the day that I started, really.
So last night we had, and I know I'm thinking you're friends with Dom. You know Dom Tesserero from the Mac Truck, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So last night we had him on, and one of the things I said after he gave his intro is pretty much what I'm going to say to you. So I think what makes Dom so successful is that he knows front of house, back of house, and business. And I'm going to say to you that I think your restaurant is so successful because you just named every position from front of the house to the back of the house, and you know business. So you know how to cook the food, you know how to market it, and you know how to price it. So I think that's huge. There aren't that many restaurant owners who have all the experience. So how do you think that experience played into the success of the restaurant, I guess?
It's played in very well, and it's important to know as many things as you possibly can. Obviously, the restaurant, it's a people business that we serve food. A lot of people think it's a food business that we have to deal with people, but it's more of a people business than a food business in a sense, because you have to have the right people skills. You have to know how to acknowledge people and treat people a certain way and make them feel welcome, make them feel warm, and be able, everyone's different. Everyone has a different need or a different want and a different comfortability level. And you have to make everyone feel comfortable in your place. You have to be able to do whatever you need to do for your customer to make them happy, satisfy them, and give them a great experience. On the food end, yes, of course, you need high quality ingredients. You need great recipes. You need great food. It's all part of the entire package, the atmosphere that you create around it. That's a lot of the business sense, is what type of place do people want to be in? And obviously the finances, the numbers, and the marketing, you need all of that, because you need to be able to take your business, make it profitable, make it successful, because that's how you're going to continue, be able to employ different people's job creation. One of the best things that people don't talk about in restaurants is job creation. The ability to give people a job that, all these people, that they depend on you. You wake up in the morning and say, I'm a leader. I'm able to help these people. I'm able to help their families out and provide for them. And it's one of the great things that we have.
So let's back up just a little bit. So when did the restaurant open? And, again, if there is someone watching or listening that's not familiar with the cuisine, I don't think it's true, but give me some of your specialties, some of your cocktails. I'm going to pull up your Instagram account while we do this, because I want people to follow you and I want them to see the delicious food and beverages that you offer. But when did you open, and what kind of stuff are you serving over there?
So we opened in July 2017. So it's almost 3 years now. DeLucas is a family restaurant. It's based off of all of my great-grandfather's recipes that were passed down to my mother that she taught to me. So I had a very informal learning of cooking and then a very formal learning in culinary school. Our specialty item, our number one specialty item, is Mama's Meatballs. My mother makes the meatballs every day. I said it when I first opened. My Mama's Meatballs are better than your Mama's Meatballs. Right there. There you go. There you go. She makes them every day in the back. They're made with love. That's the secret ingredient. That's our number one seller still to this day. We have ton of pasta dishes that are very popular, traditional Italian dishes, that recipes, again, that were passed down to me. The orecchietti barese with the broccoli rabe and sausage. The beggar's purse pasta, signature dish, stuffed with pear and ricotta cheese and a mushroom prosciutto cream sauce. It's an excellent dish. A pistachio lamb chops, that's one of my favorites. I was, taught that recipe by my grandfather. So there's a lot of different dishes on there that really do have some roots. The melanzane timbalo, the eggplant tower, the rice balls, these are all family recipes.
And everything looks, I've eaten there. So, I know the food's delicious personally, but the food tastes as good as it looks on the Instagram photos, which is pretty amazing. And I can testify to that because everything is amazing from the drinks to the food. So, Italian cuisine at its highest level. How's that?
Thank you. That's, we try to make comfort food in a fine dining atmosphere,
Love it. So you were talking about earlier, family owned, you mentioned Mom's Meatballs. Talk a little bit about the love that the Tottenville community has, they've more than embraced you. I feel like people in Tottenville, like our friend Saladragna and others, I feel like they consider you family. So talk about, how did you build a rapport like that? Because there's a lot of restaurants in Tottenville. We know this. No one is as well received as your establishment. Why do you think that is? And what, talk about that relationship.
As far as Tottenville, I'll always say that Staten Island is the greatest place in the world. Just being a native Staten Islander. Both sets of my grandparents live in Tottenville. So I was, pretty much spent a lot of my childhood there. So I'm a born and raised Tottenville guy. I've always been in the South Shore. Tottenville has been great to me. I fell in love with the community as much as they fell in love with me from the minute we met. I remember, the day I met Saladragna. He came in and tried my tuna tartare and said, "Oh my God, this is delicious." And I remember a guy, Richie Sarnes, walking down the street. I was doing construction. I'm there in boots and a tank top, fixing the steps in front. We're not anywhere near opening, and they told me about this I Live in Tottenville Facebook group and how we're one big community and we're one big family. And we heard that you're opening, and we would love for you to be a part of it. And I said, "Hey, yeah, I'm all in for that." And they said, "We're doing this big parade on Saturday, and we'd love for you to come, and maybe you could meet some people." And I called all my future employees, and we were out there with signs, giving out samples of stuff, shaking hands, kissing babies, just meeting everybody. And it kind of just started, and we all kind of, jived off of each other. And it's really like a Disney story. And
things like that make a difference because there's restaurants within 15, 20, 30 feet of your establishment, and they weren't embraced like you. So that's a compliment to you, your work ethic, your family. So that's an amazing story. I wanted you to tell it because I've never seen anything like that. And it's not to suggest that the whole borough doesn't embrace you, but particularly in Tottenville, you're like a celebrity.
There's a love. It's it's Tottenville strong. Me and my mother love the neighborhood. And they embraced us, from day one as if we were, one of their own. And the relationship went, anytime the community needed something, we were there. Anytime we needed something, the community was there. And we gave them that family feel of, this is the DeLuca family. And, this is a, more of a family atmosphere. And we want you to feel welcome anytime that you need to come in for anything. And it kind of fed off of that. And it's, the support system's there. There's a lot of great.
Talk about the giving back. So I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to hit the point, and I don't want to forget to hit the point. I know during almost any situation where the community was affected, you were one of the first restaurants to jump in and help out. So give me 1-2 stories of what you've done in the past. And then I know you're doing a lot of stuff now, during the crisis. So tell me what you guys have been doing for the community then and now during this crisis.
Sometimes it's all about just being a good neighbor and, helping people in the neighborhood who are in need, whether it's a family in need or a department in need. And maybe it's the 123 police department or the fire department, and they're there for us. And, they take care of our community, and we have to be there for them. It's a responsibility to a neighborhood to keep the neighborhood strong. Anytime I've ever had a situation where, you could think there's something that's going to go wrong, the fire department's been there or the police department's been there. They're really great, and you can't say anything bad about them. They're fantastic people, and they work hard, and they're not like what they want to say they are on TV, and they're just your regular people walking up and down the street, making sure everything's okay.
Regular guys who are helping out.
Yeah, my great grandfather was a police officer. It's all his recipes that we use in the restaurant.
Really?
I loved firefighters as a kid. I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to climb up the ladder and save people out of a burning building. So there's that little bit of like childhood connection, to them. So 9/11 was a very tough day in New York for both of those departments. So I make sure on 9/11, nobody goes out to eat on September 11th. Most people don't know this, but nobody goes out to eat. It's not a day to celebrate anything in America. Right. Whether it's every day there's a celebration. It could be a birthday, an anniversary. It could be this, it could be that. But that day, nobody celebrates. And I make sure I take the time out myself to put together a buffet for my local fire department, my local police department, to say thank you for all your service. I remember, that day. I remember being a little kid. I know there are tough days like New Year's Eve where we're all out partying and people are drinking and hanging out. Now for a restaurateur, it's not like that because we're making sure that you're okay, when everybody's having fun. But we know they have tough nights sometimes, and we want to send them, food. And the same thing will happen on, Christmas and Easter, in these major holidays that they don't get to spend time with their family. I mean, I haven't had a holiday home in about 10 years.
That's the nature of the beast, right?
I love it, because I love my business. There's nothing greater than walking around my restaurant and my dining room on Christmas Eve and seeing people enjoy these family recipes and this special menu that was put together today. It's like having 100 of your relatives at your house. But some people have to work, and those are those people. So to be able to, it's my choice to work. For them, right. Yes, it's their choice to work. It comes with a duty, but I'm sure they'd rather be home with their family. So to be able to give them that meal to remind them it is Christmas, it is Easter, it is whatever holiday it is. It's a little bit of
a place for them to relax and enjoy themselves.
Right, correct.
So before we get into the other questions that we have that we want to discuss, the other topics that are important, I have one more sort of like, I guess I'll call it a happy topic. So I know, based on following you on social media, as I'm sure many people know, you've had a decent amount of celebrities walk through your establishment. Tell us one or two of them. Do you have any stories that you could share about a personal experience with one of the celebrities who visited DeLucas?
Yes, we've had a couple of really nice celebrities. I will say they've all been great people. My two favorites, one is Judge Patricia DeMango, who I actually used to work for. She was a Supreme Court judge up in the Bronx. Now she's on her TV show Hot Bench. She's the middle judge. She's excellent, sharp as a tack. She's a bundle of fun. They put her on it there. She's a big personality. Judge Judy produces her show. She's a bunch of fun when she comes in. She has fun with the waiters. She talks to the customers. She'll take pictures. She's great. And then one that was more recent last year, which got a lot of headlines, was Ben Stiller. Honestly, one of his father passed away last week. It's sad. Older gentleman, lives a great life, gave us a lot of comedy, a lot of laughs throughout our lifetime. But Ben Stiller is one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. He's a regular guy. The actor he's probably not a good actor, because the guy that you see, in the movie, that's his personality.
That's him.
It's like Seinfeld. Like, he's not a good actor. Like, that's just him.
Right. That's just who he is.
That's who he is. He's genuinely a nice guy. He's fun. He sat at my restaurant for 3 hours with his family, talking about stories with his aunt who had recently passed away. He jumped out of an Uber across the street. He didn't even get a car. He jumped out of an Uber across the street. He was wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt and had a backpack. He walked in the restaurant and he walks up to me and I'm standing right there and I'm like, oh my God, Ben Stiller's about to walk in. And he's like, hi, my name's Ben. I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Rob. Nice to meet you. And we just start talking, and he's talking about the pictures on the wall, and he's just a regular guy. I mean, after his luncheon, he took a half hour to take pictures with every single one of my staff members and talk to them.
That's nice.
For a few minutes.
That's great.
He was there for 3 hours. He took a half hour, not to be with his family or whoever else he was with, but just be like, oh my God, your staff was so wonderful and so kind to us, and they gave us our privacy. They didn't tell anybody we were here. There was no media outlets. I wanted to take pictures with them and let them share this experience, and they were great.
Nice. That's great.
That was an excellent tipper, put it that way.
Listen, I'm sure.
Everybody asked that question, so there's the answer.
They loved it. I'm sure he did the right thing.
Excellent tipper.
So in the comment section, we just posted the link to your website. So again, anyone who's watching us live right now, anyone who is watching or listening later, look in the comment section. Click on the link. You'll be taken directly to Rob's website. You can learn more about the restaurant. So now, Rob, we have a restaurant that's been embraced by the community, a restaurant that's been frequented by celebrities, a restaurant that is well respected for both its leadership in you and your mom and your family, and its cuisine. Now we have COVID. We're stopped. You're not allowed to do anything. Your hands are tied. Tell us a little bit about how you've adapted to the current situation, whether it be, delivery, how have you adapted? What are your new hours? What's your new delivery methods? Give me everything. We want everyone to hear what's going on and how they can still get food and service from you guys.
So DeLucas has been open. We've been open since this whole pandemic has started. We only took the 2 days after Easter off and the 2 days after Mother's Day off, just to give the staff a break. But we're open 7 days a week, lunch and dinner, pickup and delivery. We have a special delivery and curbside menu that can be found online at DeLucasItalian.com. It features all of our signature dishes and a lot of specialty dishes and new dishes that are very comfort food type of dishes, which we felt that comfort food in a time like this is what people were going to need. And it has worked out that is what people are looking for. A lot of different specialty pasta dishes and chicken dishes and things that will make you feel good after you eat them. Again, a lot of traditional dishes. We're doing a lot of catering, half trays and full trays of food. You're seeing people gather in smaller groups. I would, I don't know, because I haven't been to the house.
But that's not your responsibility. As long as the food gets there hot.
And I say, what do you want to eat?
That's it. What do you need? We'll get it to you.
So, but you're seeing these trays of food. Unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of repasses, and people are sending food to people's houses, and they don't know how many people are there, so they are sending trays, which is great. And when I tell you how many people are doing that, it's showing communities and people come together, which is a fantastic thing. So we are doing a lot of that. We're doing liquor to go, which is the fun part. Everybody likes that new food. We're selling liquor bottles. You need a bottle of Kettle One. You just call me and say, hey, I need an order of meatballs and a bottle of Kettle One. No problem. It'll be to you in 45 minutes. We're doing individual cocktails to go. You need a Cosmo, espresso martini. Espresso martini is one of our signature drinks. We're going through those like crazy. A lot of sangria to go, bottles of wine to go. So liquor out the door is big, and you can just come in and pick it up if you want, and I guess walk down the street. I mean, nobody's bothered.
Once they leave, it's not your problem.
I put the lid on it and I sealed it. So what do you do after that?
So you've adapted, obviously, as everyone who has been on the show in any industry. You've all adapted. Do you think that you have done or implemented anything during the time of crisis here that you'll continue to use in the future for the restaurant, or do you see this as like a Band-Aid, and then once the world is open, back to business as usual, and we're not going to focus on all the same stuff you've implemented during the virus?
I think definitely we can use a lot of this going forward. I've been saying it. I was a primarily dine-in, family, big party gathering type of place. I did pickup, obviously, but not to the extent that I'm doing it now. I never did delivery. If I would have tried to really implement a pickup or delivery, and we used to do a lot of catering. If I would have tried to implement a big delivery business, I don't know how it would have taken off. But since this whole pandemic has happened, delivery is a huge thing because people don't want to, leave their house. Imagine having DeLucas food in, sweatpants on your couch. There's nobody better than you at that point. Right. So we will continue delivery when this ends. We will continue curbside pickup when this ends. So we're really going to continue doing what we're doing and have the addition of dine-in. The only thing that could or may change is the liquor to go, and that's not in our hands. That's in the SLA. Right.
And we asked Pam that on Friday. I asked Pam, and she's like, everybody else, no one really knows the answer to that. I hope they continue to allow it, because they haven't been.
People love this. This is great. If they want to say to us, don't sell bottles of wine or bottles of liquor, but you can serve a cocktail, because the liquor stores might get a little bit funny. Right. I would understand that, because the cocktails to go people love.
Yeah, and it sounds like even though this is an exceptionally difficult time, especially for restaurants, you're pulling your own. You're fair and okay, and we're happy to hear that. So I'm glad to hear that, even though it is really, really tough, you're able to sort of navigate through all the loopholes and get, like you said, you never even did delivery, and now you're delivering 7 days a week. That's a huge transition.
Yeah, I mean, thank God. We have a great support, like you talked about, strong Staten Island support, extremely strong Tottenville support. So pickup and delivery has been very busy, which is great and fantastic. It's all coming at a difficult time, and things obviously aren't the same. And there's a lot of difficulties that we're going through. Staff cuts is one of them. That's one of the hardest things is when somebody didn't do anything wrong, you have to, let them, they're not there. I mean, waiters are almost obsolete right now. Some guys are working deliveries, which is great, and I'm happy they're making money and doing stuff, but they're ready to go back to waiting tables and continuing what they're doing.
So let's talk now about the Staten Island Restaurant Association. So I know that, I mean, I'm 36, I'm an island native, and I know, you've heard of it, right? I've heard of it. Everyone's heard of it, but I feel like I've never seen any action, or I've never I guess it was under the radar, for lack of a better term.
Well,
but now
it's like the Men in Black, no one's ever seen them.
Okay, all right. So you're saying what I didn't want to say. So yeah, sure. The Staten Island had a restaurant association, which was probably 3 guys in the back room smoking a cigar, right? So now this whole pandemic has, and to me it's a positive thing, has banded all of the restaurant owners, including yourself, together, and you're actually meeting, discussing things, focusing on issues. Talk to us about the Restaurant Association, what you guys have been doing, and how you've come together.
So yeah, we have a restaurant, a national restaurant association. There is a New York City Restaurant Alliance, but Staten Island really hasn't had a restaurant association in some time. It kind of, like you said, three guys sitting in the back of a bar smoking cigars. That's really, I guess, what it was. I'm doing this 15 years. I've never really been involved in the association, but now what's great is to be able to band together with our fellow colleagues in this industry, and it's one team, one dream right now. There's old myths and old wives' tales about restaurateurs not getting along because who opens up down the block. That's all out the window. That may have happened years ago, but that's all out the window. And right now, we are stronger than we've ever been. We are all banding together. We all are on the same team, and we want to get things done. And we want our customers to come back. We want them to feel comfortable coming back. We want them to come back safely. We want our employees to come back. We want them to work safely. We want to be safe, for ourselves and for our families. And we are working to get some things done.
So as an organization, how are you trying to navigate this reopen, or should I rephrase it? How are you trying to navigate the new pause that's been put into effect until June?
Yeah, the new pause is difficult, and it gets more difficult every day. The last day, I called, doomsday for us was Friday, March 13th. It was a Friday the 13th. It was a full moon, and it was the first day you saw people stopped coming out to eat, and people were afraid. And you saw a big difference on that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they announced on the Sunday that schools weren't going back on Monday, and that Monday would be our last day in service. And Tuesday, which was St. Patrick's Day, we would be going into, pickup and delivery only. And you saw it. It was as clear as day, and it was a very difficult thing. We're all trying to do the same thing, pickup and delivery, liquor to go. We're trying to promote our businesses. We're trying to do right. What we're trying to do for communities. We're trying to package deals together for families. There are other people out of work too. Not everybody has income to just dispose, and some people are not getting unemployment. So it's becoming difficult for everybody. You go to the supermarket, and I saw chopped meat the other day for $11.95. I saw chicken cutlets for $9.95 a pound. That's ridiculous. It's almost insane. And there's a lot of difficulty right now. We're trying to work through things, but to be honest, there's not much, that we can do with certain things. The governor has put out his laws. We're trying to figure out a way to get in front of him, to talk to him, to let him know, hey, listen, we're suffering. Business is suffering. Not just us as restaurateurs, but all small business. Our employees are suffering. We want to make sure that we're able to move forward. This is not going to be easy. 33% capacity, 50% capacity doesn't work in a restaurant. The business is not designed for that. We're designed for 75, 80% at a minimum. Now, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it doesn't affect you too much, but Thursday you see the effects. Friday and Saturday is the 2 busy days that everybody goes out, especially on Staten Island, and Sunday is a big day for big groups. So to cut us to 50%, the math almost doesn't make sense for us to open. What we'd like to, try to petition is, I don't think people want to go to restaurants with waiters with masks and gloves on and invited. I talk to people every day, and I don't think that people really want that. We want our customers to feel comfortable and safe. And we've been doing that for years, and we'll continue to do that into the future.
Right.
But the restaurant has to sustain itself to stay open. And if you took out, and why I said 80% is if you took out 20% of the tables, you stop putting tables in the middle of rooms. You stop having those tables that are on top of each other. You start to space things out. Are you 6 feet apart? No. But are you maybe 3 or 4 feet apart from tables? Yeah, and that's more than most restaurants you go to, 3 or 4 feet apart. And you may feel comfortable as the consumer to, sit there. And if you're not comfortable, that's your choice not to be there. And then that's our response as a business owner to say, okay, maybe we need to separate them even a little bit more. It has to be a throw it in there, test it, see how people feel.
Exactly.
If people react well, okay, good. Maybe 3 or 4 feet. People are going to say, wow, I can't believe I'm 3 feet away. They wanted 6 feet. I can't even see the other person.
Yeah, right.
And then let us use the other 20% that we also need, because restaurants do need 100% of capacity to survive. Let us put those tables outside, on our sidewalks, in our parking lot, out in front of the store, with certain regulations as far as we can socially distance even more out there. Then we can get to 6 feet. So the customer can say, I feel comfortable going to DeLucas, and I can sit outside 6 feet apart, or I can sit inside 4 feet apart. Well, 4 feet,
give them an option.
4 feet's good enough for me, and I'll sit inside. Or you know what? I really want to be here, and I want to support small business, but I'm uncomfortable still, and I want to sit outside. And 6 feet is, and there's going to be spots in the restaurant that there will be actually 6 feet inside.
Right.
Everyone's layout's a little bit different, so you will have tables that are even further apart. But we can't be regulated.
No, and they couldn't enforce it even if they wanted to. Let's just call it what it is.
They could. They could.
They're going to come in with a tape measure?
I had a couple of encounters with the sheriff, and we're not friends.
Well, I mean, we know because it was written up in the Staten Island Advance, so it's out there. We could talk about it. Yesterday, the day before, there were some restaurants here on the island that tried to, I don't know how to put it appropriately, but they opened up, right? It is what it is. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I'm curious. What do you think? They're trying. They're struggling. How do you think that went?
They're trying. They're struggling. Every restaurant wants to open up. We all want to go back to work. We all want to see our customers. I miss my customers. I miss my customers, my neighborhood. I sit outside the restaurant every day, and people walk by, and they get to see them and wave at them and say hi from a distance. But I miss my customers. I mean, my mother hasn't been in the restaurant since this whole thing started. She's going to want to hug everyone again. She's
yeah, of course.
Who hugs and kisses people. She's going to want to see everybody again. And like I said, we do get to talk to them. They come for pickup. We see, they order for deliveries. We talk to them on the phone, which is all great. And what they did with a few restaurants, they were innovative. They tried something new, and you have to applaud them for that. They tried. They have families to feed. They tried. They wanted to put people to work. There was no rule on putting people outside, and they tried it. The mayor said no, but they tried it, and you can't. It's like the movie A Bronx Tale, when he asks you, "Were you near the bar?" and he says no, and he says, "I was at the bar," and he says, "Why'd you lie?" He goes, "I took a shot." They took a shot.
They took a shot. Yeah,
they took a shot. I mean, they put tables far apart from what I saw in videos. I wasn't there. But they took a shot. They tried something. They took a little bit of a stance, So you want to applaud them for that. They tried, and they want to get back to business just like I do. We got to find ways, because we could all open. And at the restaurants we do talk, and it's obviously thrown out there. We all want to open. Pick a day, June 1st.
Right. We'll do it.
Cuomo goes like this, and the liquor licenses are gone. And
okay.
They're proving that they'll do that. So
that was my next question. So my question is just point blank. I mean, because the rumors on the island, because again, it's a small island. Everybody knows everybody. You know this as well as I do. Right. The consensus has been that the organization is banding together, the Restaurant Association, and that you're planning to just all open up and say, well, what are you going to do? You can't shut down 900 some odd restaurants, right? Come and try and stop us.
I mean, I'm not going to say I've been saying that, but people talk about that. People say that obviously that gets thrown around, but that's not what anybody's planning to do right now. Could it always come to that point? Of course.
Right, but as of now, I'm just saying the rumor that was, like you said, it was rumored that there was a date that it was going to happen and it was going to be a big show. So that's just all. That's as of now, right now, that's not true.
Right. Yeah. Right now, there's no date of opening,
and that's perfect.
You know, and that's where we are. We're really thinking this out because we're doing this for, you know, not just ourselves, our livelihood, our employees. We're doing this for our customers too. You know,
Right.
we want to make sure that we, you know, check everything to make sure that we know. I mean, we are specialists when it comes to sanitation and cleaning things inside the restaurant. We do that every day. You know, my floors get bleached every day. What gets clogged? Besides from pandemic, I'm a clean freak when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, we don't want any germs. There's so much cross contamination, you know, that you have to worry about aside from the coronavirus, that we become specialists in that to make sure. So they should really listen to us as the experts of how to do that stuff, not just somebody sitting in an office, you know, somewhere in town hall.
Well, I agree with you on that.
But between all the restaurants on Staten Island, we do know a lot. You know, we're small business owners. We're smart. We're organized. We're well spoken. We know what to do, and we want to make sure that we come up with the right plan for opening. It's not just open at 100%. Everybody get a DJ, put them outside your restaurant.
Right. That's typical what Staten Island thinks.
Yeah, that's not the plan. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, of course. I'm sure it would be a plan. Everyone open on 4th of July. It's Independence Day. Set off fireworks and
it sounds beautiful.
It sounds great. It's just not what we're able to do because unfortunately we're licensed businesses. You know, we have the health department to worry about. We have the fire inspections to worry about. We have the labor department to worry about, and we have the SLA to worry about. And these are all either city or state controlled. And even if we get through this and open, those agencies are going to come down on us, you know, extremely hard with a lot of fines and very difficult after, including the sheriff's department. That's another one. That's been the issue is the sheriff stops in front of DeLucas every day. And, you know, he looks and sees what I'm doing. My door's wide open.
Right.
My lights are off. I'm sitting in there. I'm taking orders. There's guys working in the back, delivery drugs going out, and we're abiding by all the rules, but they're checking. It's not like they're not.
Well, good. So at least we know that that's not the case, because I know everybody's been talking about it, and it's good to let it be out there because, quite frankly, some people who are hearing this are thinking that you're all crazy, and that's not the case because you're actually getting together and putting together plans to do something positive, which is so much better than what people are thinking is going on. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, we're thinking because we want everyone to be comfortable. You know, our customers are our lifeblood. You know, we live and die by them. We do I know, especially for me, we do everything we can for them. Whatever I can do for my customers to make them feel happy, comfortable, satisfied, we're going to do. So we have to think these things out. You know, the restaurants have to open, and there's a capacity.
Yes.
There's a way for it to open and a capacity for it to open. And if it takes us an extra 2 hours at the end of the night to scrub everything down, we're going to do it.
So I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because this is the point in the show where each night we nominate and applaud a COVID hero of the day. So we're going to do our COVID Talks Hero of the Day right now. But this is the opportunity for anyone who is tuned in, watching us live through the live stream. Use the comment section right now, because when we come back from the COVID Talks Hero, we're going to pull up some live comments from the stream and we'll let Rob address them. So Rob, hang tight 1 second.
You got it.
Excuse me. So tonight's COVID Talks Hero of the Day is Catholic Charities of Staten Island. Catholic Charities of Staten Island is very well known for all of its events that it puts on. It's known for all the great work it does in the community. But right now, during this pandemic, Catholic Charities of Staten Island has partnered with Borough President Jim Otto along with Fresh Direct, and they have been providing food to people in need for the last several weeks. Approximately 1,000 boxes of food per week for the last few months has been shipped to Catholic Charities and then dispersed throughout the borough to families in need, because as we all know, an ancillary effect of the coronavirus has been lack of money, which in turn is leading to lack of food. So shout out to Catholic Charities, to Borough President Otto, and to Fresh Direct for the campaign that they put together in, again, 1,000 boxes of food per week. In my mind, that's a huge amount of food to even think that there are that many people on Staten Island in need. So thank you, Catholic Charities, for stepping up and being there and helping our community. All right, so we're back, brother. So this is the part where, if you want, you could click the button, check out some of the comments, because you can see what I can see. And we're going to see what we can pull up. So I'm going to go to the top Again, anybody who has a question, please let us know. Shout out to Vito Canena. Vito has been here since day one watching COVID Talks. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We have Teresa shouting you out. Rob, dinner was delicious last Saturday night. Great work.
Thank you, Teresa.
You have Willard. Now that's Willie, your manager, right?
Yeah. So Willie doesn't work for me anymore. Me and Willie are very good friends.
Okay.
He had a great opportunity at one point. Great guy. He was one of my managers. Excellent worker. One of the best guys. I'm sure you'll be seeing him at DeLucas soon enough.
All right. So let's see. Here we go. From our friend Todd Bavona. So Todd is one of the gentlemen who does a live stream multiple times a day. Shout out to Rob, Gotham Trinity Productions. He's doing great work. Todd Bavona asks of Rob, there's about 10 different Italian spots in Tottenville and Richmond Valley. What sets DeLucas apart? Does Staten Island have the best Italian food in New York and New Jersey?
I would say yes, Staten Island has the best Italian food in New York and New Jersey. I have to say that. So.
Yeah, even if you don't believe it.
I have to say that. I'm going to go, yes, we do. What sets DeLucas apart? I think it's the tradition. The traditional Italian dishes that are really passed down from generation to generation. It's the family environment, family atmosphere that you walk into. Anybody can say, oh, you go there, it's like family. When you come to DeLucas, it really is like your family. You get a hug and a kiss from my mother. You get a hug from me. We sit you down. The way that you're treated from, the busboy to the waiter to the bartender to myself, it's a whole experience. You're sitting in a very elegant yet comfortable Italian setting, having great food that can be the simplest as eggplant parm and as high end as a lobster pescator. And it's really just about great food and great service and appeasing the customers. And that's really what I would say what sets it apart.
So we have, and I'm not sure if you know Phil. You know Phil Guarneri, Empire State Bank?
Phil. I do not know Phil.
Well, I'm going to shout him out because for two reasons. One is he said he loves your restaurant. And two is Phil Guarneri is Empire State Bank. Empire State Bank, for anyone who is a Staten Island community member, business owner, Phil and his team at Empire State Bank were able to facilitate PPP loans and EIDL loans and help. I think we featured the bank as a hero of the day. And I forgot the exact stats, but I think they were able to fuel and funnel 86 or 90% of all the PPE loans that were sent into them within like a week and get the money into the hands of businesses who needed it. So Phil, thanks for watching. Shout out to you and your entire team over at Empire State Bank for always doing great work, but especially now when businesses need it more than ever. You guys were there and stepped up in an amazing way. So we applaud you for everything you've done. Let's see. Okay, so from our friend Tom Bannis. So Tom Bannis also hosts a nightly live stream. Tom Bannis is the owner of a company called Down to the Felt. Tom said, so are you concerned about unemployment affecting the return of some employees?
Hold on, I was reading somebody else's question. Just say that again.
No, it's all right. It says, so Rob, are you concerned about unemployment affecting the return of some employees in your establishment?
Yes and no. And for me, it's a different story. I have 15 guys who work for me, and one got unemployment. So that just tells you about how the unemployment department is working right now. It's, a total disaster that these other 14 individuals all qualify and can't get their unemployment that they pay into, every week with their paychecks. Only one guy was able to get through. They call, they get hung up on. For a lot of other places, yes, I am concerned because, there's just so much money being handed out in unemployment. And, you understand there's a crisis going on and there's so much, unrest and people aren't sure. So I'm glad some people in need are getting what they need. But some people don't want to go back to work. I know people who are coming in for pickup and delivery, and you ask them how they're doing, and they say they're doing great. They go, I make more money staying home than going back to work, and not being in the restaurant business, but actually working in like corporate America. And you're sitting there scratching your head and you're saying, how are you going to get people to go back to work? But I think yesterday the Treasury cleared up that anyone who's given the opportunity to go back to work, not that they have to go back to work, but they will no longer qualify for unemployment.
Very cool. So you're right. I've heard the same sentiment. People are making more money on unemployment. So I have to pull him up, but I'm upset that he only said 2 words. But
Sal Dragna?
yeah, I mean,
What did he
it's
say?
named a Dragnaville. Tottenville is a Dragnaville, and all Sal had to say is, "I'm in." So Sal, we love you, but you could have added a little something to the show. You could have provided a little value.
Yeah, so I
Just a
feel like
little.
you should have said something more, asked a really intuitive question like, do you have seafood salad tonight? Because that's usually my daily text from Sal Dragon. Do you have seafood salad tonight?
There you go, and that's it.
Yeah,
And we want to our last one. We want to shout out Frankie Party Jam, Frank Madalena, Tottenville resident, who says we need the meatball recipe.
Yeah, there's like 3 people on earth who know that recipe. I'm
That's
one.
it.
There's one, and there's one more. And that's about it.
Sorry, Frankie, but we still love you. All right, brother. So again, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for sharing information. Thank you for dispelling that rumor because, like I said, I know it's all over. When Pam was on Friday, we were discussing it then. But you heard it here. You guys are coming together as the Staten Island Restaurant Organization and the group. You're working on positive things. You're not planning on doing anything crazy. And it's nice to get that out there. And it's nice to see that this organization has come together. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing all the information. Again, we put the link to Rob's Restaurant's website in the comment section. Check it out. They're open 7 days a week, pickup and delivery. So we encourage you to, even if you're not a Tottenville resident, you're delivering anywhere on Staten Island, Rob. Am I correct?
I'm going so I'm in Tottenville. We're doing 10307,
Okay.
10309, 10312, and 10308, which is all the way in Great Hills.
Okay.
On the weekends, we can reach a little bit further by the Staten Island Mall to Newdorf for bigger orders. If anyone has catering they need, call us. We can do the catering island-wide. It's no problem.
Good. So anywhere you're located, just give them a call. Look at the website. Give them a call. Order some espresso martinis to go. Whatever you got to do. But support Rob. Support his family. Support DeLucas. They're doing great things in Tottenville. So Rob, again, I thank you for being with us. I'm going to close out the show, and then I will be right back.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
All right. What a great guy. And the one thing we didn't touch on is how young he is, right? Young guy, former law student, and now he has a restaurant that is a pillar in the community of Staten Island, a pillar especially in Tottenville. So we are thankful that he was with us, and we're proud and happy that he was able to discuss what the Restaurant Association is doing and how they're making positive progress towards dealing with, a really unimaginable and unnavigable situation that they're currently facing. So before we close out, we just want to once again remind you to tune in tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to have with us Miss Michelle Krupe, president of the Verrazano Kiwanis Club. She's going to be talking with us about all the great things that the club has been doing to help our community right now in a time of need. And we look forward to having her with us. And if you're interested in being a guest, you have a topic you want us to discuss, or if you're interested in creating a live stream for yourself or a client like the one that we're doing right here, right now, shoot us an email, info@PRcision. We'd be more than happy to take a look at it and get you set up or get you or your topic on the show and discussed. All right, so that's it. Once again, we thank Rob. We encourage you to support DeLucas Restaurant. And I'm Anthony Rapp of PRcision. Thank you for watching COVID Talks, positive conversations during uncertain times. Have a great night.